I learned that my wife was planning to give her son my dead wife's ring. She was livid when I gave it to the rightful owner, my daughter. My first wife passed away when my daughter was 3 only. Before tying the knot, we dated for 7 long years, and my parents considered her their second daughter. While I came from the middle class, she came from a wealthy family. During our time dating and marriage, she and her family greatly helped my family. For example, while we were dating, she offered to fully pay for my sister's education. While my family protested, she offered it as a loan without interest with her punchline like, if we consider her family, we will accept it. And then, at our wedding, she gave my sister a loan paid off a certificate that said a loan fully paid with love when my sister was just a graduate from law school. My mom was a cleaning lady, and my dad was a construction worker. She helped my mom in opening her cleaning service agency, and much more, and push for my father to start his own business than just a manual labor job. It won't be too far if I said my parents love her more than they love me. Unfortunately, my wife died due to cancer when our daughter was only 3 before dying. She, with the help of her twin brother, made some videos for my daughter for her every milestone and a few birthday videos, and even wrote letters to her, which she entrusted me to give it to her at the right time. But while doing all these things, she asked her mom and my mom to give my daughter an extra gift during holidays and birthdays, saying it's from mom. Well, then onwards, for every holiday, my daughter started getting 8 gifts from her mom, as all of her and my siblings got my daughter an extra gift for her, saying it was from my mom and my parents. Now I married my now wife when my daughter was 8. That's when first conflict started. My stepson didn't get as many gifts as my daughter due to her extra gifts from her mom. When I tried to talk to my family and ex-in-laws about it, my parents said that my now wife would not be in the picture if my first wife Sarah were alive, and this was Sarah's last wish for her daughter, so I should be ashamed to even talk about it to them. In contrast, my ex-in-laws said they were not concerned about my new wife and new family if I saw my daughter as a hindrance to my happiness. They would gladly take full custody of my daughter. Well, I apologized to everyone, talked to my wife, and asked her to drop it, but this has been a constant issue in our marriage. What I didn't know was that my wife then emotionally checked out from my daughter. She didn't mistreat her but ignored me, being busy with work. I didn't notice that initially, but when I did and spoke to my wife about it, she would always say, try being pregnant, or she didn't sign up for this, or she is busy with other kids. My daughter should be able to take care of herself. When Sarah's brother came to know about how niece was being treated at home, they were livid. My parents and siblings were also mad at me, and then my daughter started spending more time at her uncle's place or her grandparents. When my daughter turned 14, she wanted to do summer jobs like her friends, so instead of letting her do normal babysitting jobs, which teenagers do, her uncles came up with the idea of letting her work in their respective companies as an intern to see where her interest lies. It will also help her in her college applications. So from the age of 14 to 18, when my daughter was not paying for it all in her life, she got the job of an intern in her uncle and aunt's office while getting paid at least minimum wage, if not more than that, or rather much more than that. My ex-father-in-law understood that this could spoil my daughter, so he came up with the idea of charging her rent and a part of a utility bill to make her ready for the real world. At the same time, I was not ready to take money from my little girl after everything happening in her home life. Still, they convinced me that I could take this money and invest it under her name and give it to her when I felt right, which sounded like a great idea to me. So we charged my daughter rent of $100 and 1/4 of the utility bill, which she agreed without any fuss. Now when I discussed this with my wife, we said we could do the same for our other kids, but she blew up at me, saying I could do whatever I wanted for my daughter. Still, she will not let me charge rent to her kids while they live with their parents, no matter their age. I tried to explain, but she shut me down. Well, as you might have guessed, it worked in my daughter's favor. All those internships helped her understand that she is good with numbers and would like to go into the finance industry. She also got a good scholarship, and I believe her resume played a part in her excellent grades. She completed her undergrad free via scholarship, untouched college fund, and still lives at home. She could have moved in with her uncle, but I believe she stayed for me with the same rent and utility arrangement when she went for her master's. She had to move out of state, and she got a 50% scholarship. While after her master she joined her uncle's firm where her mom was 50% partner, and now she is filling the shoes of her mom in her office. She is so much like Sarah now. She is getting married to a wonderful guy, a close friend's son. I'm happy for her. Here is the problem. My sons are not as lucky as my daughter, especially my stepson. Due to how my wife treated my daughter, my ex-in-laws never offered these internship offers to my sons. My sons are not as academically gifted as my daughter, and as per Sarah's will, apart from the items willed to other families, everything else goes to my daughter, which is 80% of Sarah's estate. My parents have already made and discussed their will and have warned my wife not even to try to tell them what to do or what not to do, as everything will be divided equally between all their biological grandkids. My ex-in-laws have already mentioned whatever inheritance Sarah was supposed to get will now be given to her daughter. Now, my daughter invited me the other day for lunch and asked me if I could give her Sarah's pendant set and wedding ring for her wedding, which was willed to me, and I didn't see any point in denying this request. This is where I was as I didn't discuss it with my wife. When I came home and told my wife about it, she, as usual, blew up at me, saying her son was planning to propose to his girlfriend with that ring. My wife was planning to gift the pendant set to her niece as she really loves it and is also getting married soon. I told her it is creepy as both the items belong to Sarah, and my daughter has an emotional attachment with these pieces, and I know the reason why Sarah gave it to me. She also knows that I've already told her about it. Well, it was a yelling match, and all of my sons came out of their rooms to see what was happening. They ganged up on me, saying that I always favor my daughter over them and that she should share her success with them rather than take something from them. It's like kicking someone when they are already down, and unless she apologizes for even asking this, they are not attending her wedding, and I should also support them. Now, this is where I'm again because I lost my cool on their foolish request and told them I'm not punishing my daughter for getting better opportunities in life, and if their mother was not a beach to her, they might not have missed on those opportunities. Now, am I the a-hole for giving a reality check to my wife and sons?